Most people think arguing is about who can speak the loudest or type the angriest comment. But in academic writing, volume doesn't matter. It's a courtroom, and the only currency is undeniable proof. Think of yourself as the lead attorney. Your thesis is the case you are trying to win, and every citation you drop is an exhibit of evidence entered into the record. To convince your reader, you have to stop trying to shout them down and start building a structure of logic and evidence that they simply cannot dismantle. The foundation of any academic argument relies on two basic building blocks: making a specific claim and immediately attaching it to credible evidence. Let's look at a straightforward example. Your text might start with a claim: online education is as effective as traditional schooling. To give that claim actual weight, you immediately anchor it to a source, writing that Smith 2022 found test scores remain stable across both formats. This two-step structure is a great start, but if you stop here, your argument is vulnerable. A good lawyer knows the opposing counsel will get a turn to cross-examine, and you have to be ready for the inevitable counter-arguments from critics. This brings us to the opposing viewpoint. A critic might argue that online learning causes severe social isolation. If we ignore this, we look unprepared. But here is where writers make a critical mistake. If you simply drop that opposing fact right next to your own points, without properly framing it, it acts as friendly fire. It crushes the argument you just spent time building, because it sounds like you are agreeing with the opposition. To control the threat, we use a technique called concession. This allows you to safely acknowledge the other side's point without surrendering your own case. Looking at this text on minimizing language, we see the tools for the job. By using specific hedging verbs like may or suggest and adverbs like often, we can soften the impact. You might write, opponents suggest online learning may reduce social interaction. By framing the opponent's argument with concession vocabulary, you shrink the threat, you box it in. This proves to your reader that you are objective and have done the research, while keeping you firmly in control of the narrative. Once you have boxed in the opposing view, you need a bridge to get back to your own superior evidence. This is called the pivot. The pivot relies on strong transition vocabulary, words and phrases like however, but actually, or this fails to account for. Let's test this out with a new topic: renewable energy. Here is our main claim: wind energy is necessary for the future. And here is our safely framed concession: admittedly, wind turbines require a massive initial financial investment. Now we need the final piece. Pause the video right here. Mentally write a pivot sentence that counters this financial concession using the idea of long-term savings. Your sentence should look something like this: however, this initial cost is heavily outweighed by the long-term savings in fossil fuel purchasing, as noted by Johnson 2021. The transition word combined with cited evidence completely neutralizes the financial concern. When we put it all together, we get a fully synthesized academic paragraph. In the first half, you establish your firm claim in blue, and then you safely acknowledge the opposition in yellow. In the second half, you strike back. The red section is the pivot, bridging directly into the green section, which delivers your decisive cited proof. Every time you write an argumentative paragraph, you can run it through this four-step checklist. State the claim, concede the opposing view, counter with a pivot, and provide your evidence. Take a screenshot or save this list right now. Use it as a filter for all your future essays. Applying this exact four-part architecture is what takes a vulnerable personal opinion and turns it into a bulletproof academic argument.